What's going on, Yugi-Tube? This is V85 here, and first of all, I want to apologize if I'm not as exuberant or as lively as usual. I'm starting to get a little sick. It sucks. And I'm one of those people that hardly ever gets sick. And when I do, it feels like I'm knocking on death's door. And it sucks so bad. So, yeah, I'm trying to nip it at the bud right now because I just started feeling this stuff. So I'm already taking stuff to try to kill it off and everything. So hopefully I'll be back to good spirits and being me in a couple days. So, second of all, thank you very much for everyone that's joined the channel just because you found the channel and liked the content, or if you joined because you liked the video that was finally posted on World 6667's channel for next grade Yugi-Tuber. Thank you very much. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, your comments, your questions, everything. I love that shit. Thank y'all for liking that video as well. It really sucks that the last videos are being placed up a month after they were submitted. Like this competition's actually kind of pissing me off a little bit, but I understand that Dan and Devin are busy with their own endeavors and everything. So, you know, when they finally get the time to do stuff like that, then they'll put it up. But on to subject at hand. As I said before, I really like seeing your comments and your questions and everything, and I love interacting with you guys. So anytime you guys have questions for me, feel free to post them up, and I try to get back to as many questions as possible. And I mean, in that same vein, like, it's helping me become a better player as well, because it's making me look up rulings and look up mechanics in the game and all that kind of stuff. So me helping you is helping me retroactively. So thank you very much, and just keep them coming. The video for today, I want to do a Q&A session, and this is kind of like, it's going to have like a Six Samurai theme to it, because every once in a while I get like a random question about Six Samurais, and sometimes like these questions and comments and everything, they take longer than the 500 character limit that we're giving in reply. So I'm just going to do an entire video on it because I have 15 minutes to waste. So I want to do that. So the first question that I want to talk about is from Dynamite Dominic. And he asks, is it possible to play aggressively and conservatively with 6 amps, or are they pretty much go home or go for game type deck? You have to understand that. It's a very good question, by the way. And it's a very, very multi-layered question. Six Samurai is actually like, it's a very, very unique deck in that it is a mixture of aggro and control, which there aren't that many of. It's aggro because you can explode out of nowhere and make these huge, like, synchro plays into Shin, Naturia, and like Scrap Dragon, Mistworms, and just start taking control of the field. From there, it gives you a vast range of Exceed options, so you can make Excaliburs, Blade Arm Ninjas, Utopias, Roaches, almost on the fly as long as you have the resources. And it's an amazing deck. Like, if you're just an aggressive player, then it's an amazing deck, as long as you know how to take that aggressive and don't overextend, which is one thing that Samurai is really, really bad at, is overextending. At the same point, they're a control deck, whereas they have their control synchro, like Shein. They can go into your Naturias, so Beast and Barkion are heavyweights. Some of their monsters are even control monsters. You look at Iru, who attacks face downs and automatically nukes it. If your opponent has a face-down Snowman Eater, you don't have to worry about it. It's a face-down Morphing Jar, for instance. Pfft, pop it. You know, your opponent isn't going to get it. You look at Anishi, who is an amazing control monster. You know, it's pretty much a compulse with a 1700 attack. That if you have more Sams on board, it becomes 22, and that's big. You know, being able to compulse during your turn or your opponent's turn, and interrupt plays and all that kind of stuff. And you know, those monsters are just amazing in Sams. At the same time, like, while you're getting those pluses out of the deck, you're also inheriting those genres' minuses. Like I said earlier, like, one of the big minuses out of aggro is it's very, very easy to overextend. And you know, samurais are notorious for overextension. It's insanely easy, you know, to just start spamming out Keyzons and then just run into something that you didn't foresee coming, that you can't do anything about, and it messes up your entire plan. And then after that, you just get bent over and butt plugged, you know. At the same time, it inherits the same minuses as control decks. Control decks tend to be slower. And that's Samurai is known for being a fast deck, but at the same time, if you look at all of the Samurai support, like Gateway, United, Asceticism, any of those really, really big foundation cards for Sams, they all rely on you having access to your monsters. If you don't have access to your monsters, then you're going to sit there like a frog on a log and not do anything. So that's one of the inherent minuses for it being a control deck. So yes, it is easy to play both aggressively and conservatively with samurais. It depends on two really big things. One, it depends on the play style of the pilot of the deck, and depends on how the deck is built. If you are a very aggressive player, then yes, you naturally have in tune to want to spam out Shein and spam out Grandmaster and Keyzons and just, you know, try to wipe the floor as quickly as possible. If you're more of a control player, then you're going to aim the deck to be in more control, as to, like, if you want to play more traps, and yeah, play more traps. You know, you're going to add in those deep prisons, those compulses, so that you can control your opponent while giving yourself a little bit more time to set up your control synchros or your control exceeds and just go in. It really, really depends on playing style. And a lot of experienced samurai players, they want to play more conservatively because they want to get away from that pitfall of overextension, because that is the the grand rule that you don't break with Sams is overextend, because the second that you start doing that, you lose. You just have to pick and choose what is best for the situation and what you have access to. There's some hands where you're not going to be able to play aggressively, so you have to play conservatively. And there's some hands where you have to play conservatively, you know, you can't play aggressively. Or, you know, or you can't play, where you have to play aggressively and you can't play conservatively. It all depends on what the deck gives you in your opening hand and its preceding hands. So, like I said, it all depends on how the deck is built, and depends on the way the player chooses to play it. So, hopefully I answered that question. If I didn't, then I'm sorry, and let me know if you have any more questions about that, Dominic. The other question that I keep on getting over and over again, and I don't mind explaining this whatsoever because a lot of people still don't understand, is the viability of this card, Asceticism. Asceticism is an absolutely amazing card. It's one of the backbones of Sams. And Asceticism, it's easy to play with if you know how to play with it. So, What it does, I'm just going to read it verbatim right here. Select one face-up 6 samurai monster you control. Special summon 1 6 samurai monster from your deck with a different name but equal attack to the selected monster. During the end phase of this turn, destroy the selected monster. So it's kind of easy. It's the strength of this card, it necessarily isn't in what's written on it. It's kind of like goes and match rivalry warlords type thing. What asceticism does is pretty much it creates an entire web for your 6 samurais, and it gives you access to anything out of your deck that you already have a 6 samurai to. Now, some of the obvious things that I really don't need to talk about. Everyone knows Kakamusha and Elder, their relation to asceticism. They both have the same 400 attacks, so you can go asceticism on either one of these and make Barkion or make Beast, Shin, or Catastrophe, whichever you need to make. However, there's way more than that you can do. Let's talk about Kageki for once. Kageki is amazing with asceticism because Kageki, when it has another 6 samurai on board, gains 1500 attack, so it becomes a 1700. So, mind you that asceticism doesn't worry about original attack, it just depends on current attack of that monster. So, let's say you have Kageki on the field, you special summon a Kakamusha out of it, you apply asceticism on the Kageki. This means that you can grab a 1700 out of your deck, which means that you can either grab Anishi or Airu. Now, what is important about this is that your Anishi is going to stay on the field because the monster that was targeted by asceticism on the field will be destroyed during the end phase, not the monster that is being special summoned. So keep that in mind. So that easily means that you can go Kageki with Kakamusha into Shin, and then you have Anishi on board as well. So right now you have a once per turn, any turn, negate Spell Trap, and then you have a live Compulse with a 1700 body. That's an amazing play. Plus you have the other 3 back row that you have access to. Let's talk about another web real quick. Let's talk about the Kizan web. The Kizan web is amazing because Kizan is 1800, but it can fluctuate up to 21 if you have 2 more 6 samurais on board. So if you don't have, if you have Kizan by itself, you have asceticism, it means you can go Zanji out of it because he's 1800. Zanji is an amazing card as well. It instantly kills anything it attacks. So you can easily go asceticism with Kizan into Zanji. Zanji is now alive, so that you can ram into one of your opponent's big monsters and start ramming with your Kizan. But keep in mind, you have to do something with your Kizan until the end phase, or this thing's going to get destroyed. If your Zanji isn't destroyed, or if you choose to Exceed right then and there, you can make your Shadow Shin, your Blade Armor Ninja, your Excalibur, your Roach, whatever you need to. Now also keep in mind what I just said. A Kizan, if you have 2 or more 6 Ams plus him on the field, he becomes 21. This gives you instant access to Grandmaster. Now Grandmaster is a breaking card for the deck because Grandmaster is an insurance policy, if you really think about it. That's why Grandmaster is so amazing. That's why you can only have one of them on the field. It's an insurance policy. So if this thing gets destroyed, by any means, you get the effect to add a 6 samurai monster from your graveyard to your hand. Now, when I say by any means, I do mean by any means. You special Grandmaster with its own effect from your hand, your opponent activates Warning. Guess what? Your opponent just paid 2,000 life points for nothing. Grandmaster activates when it hits the graveyard, not on chain. Activates when it hits the graveyard. So that means you can add Grandmaster back to your hand with its own effect and special it again. I played a guy earlier this week that didn't know that. So do keep in mind, if Grandmaster gets destroyed by card effect in any way, you still get the effect. Hopefully that cleared up any questions about Samurais. If you have any questions whatsoever on any decks, feel free to question me. I will gladly answer. And like I said, it helps me out and makes me become a better player. in that same vein. So comment down below and send your questions in. Maybe I'll make a video on it. This is V85, over and out.